congratulations on the Kissing Booth 3 coming out.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's been a blast. Like already, I mean, I could tell you from the get-go. So I did a movie back in 2019 called Triggered, which is now on Hulu. It's like very different from the Kissing Booth. So I wouldn't like, you know, if you like that kind of movie, then that's great.
I watched it. But it was good.
Did you? Oh, yeah. Nice. Thank you. So that character is like super, like, you know, airheaded, and like his name is PJ, and like everything's like love and peace, even if it means bad things for him.
Yeah.
But I remember on the way down to the sets, we were in this like golf cart because it was in the forest, and we were like driving from base camp. And the actress alongside me, Raina Slut, was like, "Oh damn, they're casting for the Kissing Booth too." And I was like, because I was in America when they cast for one, so I was like, I am not missing this chance right now. I'm not doing that. So I called my agent immediately. I was like, the casting for Kissing Booth too. You gotta give me an audition. And then like she got me an audition, and it was like Ashton, and I was like, this is exactly who I am. Like, this is me. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy. I'm super happy it worked out.
Yeah, I mean, I saw Ashton like walk on the screen, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is who we were missing.
I love that, Gracie. I love that. That's
awesome. I absolutely loved your character. Like, did you have any inspiration towards how you portrayed him or brought him to the screen?
I think a lot of it was actually been based off like California culture. Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of friends and like pretty much family out in California, and a lot of them they're just good people, you know, and they like they've lived here for ages, you know. They're not the people who live in like LA. They're like the people who live in like Whittier and like, well, I suppose Brentwood is LA, and like what is it? I can never get this right because it's South African accents, but I think it's Semi Valley. Anyway, so like they live out like in the valley, and they're just really cool people. They like, you know, tranquil. They just fall down for the ride, and I think that's the best way to live life, to be honest. You know, like watching a movie come out has just reminded me of just not to stress. Like, don't fret about things. You know, just go with it. You know. And I think that's like Ashton's vibe, you know. He's like,
100%.
I am who I am, you know what I mean? And like, I don't have like, you know, I'm not involved in like the drama or whatever. But at the same time, he's got a good heart, a good soul. So
yeah. I mean, what was it like for you, kind of coming into this franchise in the last movie?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie, there were elements of it that was a little bit tough. I think the first movie, I think everybody was doing it as like they were just so stoked to be a part of this project. I think everybody thought it was like really, really cool. And obviously no one at the time knew that it was going to become the global phenomenon that it became, you know, like the most rewatched movie on Netflix. So obviously, yeah, that has a lot of effects in various ways on people. And I think they formed those like units, you know. So like I was like that kid who like came in like the 5th grade or like the 11th grade in school, and I'm like, what's up guys, like, you know, like I'm new, but like, you know, and by that stage it's like, you know, you have to navigate all the territory about these people are like established now, these people are well known, and you just got to be who you are. And I was really, really grateful to work with some really cool people. Joey, Jacob, and Joel are all really, really cool people. In their own ways, and I was grateful for the entire experience. You know, it's not my hometown. Cape Town is not my hometown, but yeah, definitely, I did feel a little bit like, oh man, I'm coming in the 3rd one. You know, like you know, I didn't even want it to be viewed like that. You know what I mean? I was just like, nah, I'm like, you know, I'm cool, I'm chill. I don't want to like, you know, yeah, and I didn't want. I think the hardest thing is that when you achieve that level of success that the film has. A lot of people, I mean, they might feel that you're like trying to like piggyback or something, you know what I mean? And that really wasn't the case. Like I just genuinely had a great time on the set and a great time with the people, and I'm super, super grateful for it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Ashton and Lee have a pretty good friendship. What was your friendship like with Joel throughout that movie?
I love Joel. He's like, we're extremely similar. Like there was one, yeah. So like on one of the first days on set, I was walking past this trailer, and then Judd Croc, who plays Ollie, was in the trailer. And they were talking about like some pretty like deep, you know, like a proper DMC. about like
Yeah.
relationships and like the way that you interact with people. And I like just chipped in with my 2 cents, and like Judd's eyes just got wider, and I'm like, what's up, bro? And he's just like, no, that's like exactly what Joel just said. Like, that's exactly what Joel just said about the top, because I had no idea what Joel, I just walked in on the conversation then, you know? So he's like, you guys are literally talking about the same thing. This is wild, you know? And like, there was one time I was standing behind the monitor just watching, and someone like, you know, when you're like aware of someone's presence, but you haven't turned around to see who it is. Someone just turned around and they were like, hey Joel, could you, oh, hey Cam. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so we connected a lot on that level. We actually got to watch Spider-Man. I know in the movie we both talk about being Spider-Man fans, but Spider-Man Far From Home was out in cinemas at the time we were filming. So we went to go watch it and both like really enjoyed that film. Yeah, it was great. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, obviously your character is a huge, like, not nerd, but fan of like the Marvel and everything. Are you yourself a fan of that?
Yeah, Gracie. Oh yeah. One of the first videos I ever uploaded onto YouTube was me doing a Robert Downey Jr. impersonation. And I think I did pretty all right. I think I did okay. I
mean, can I hear it?
Hold on. I haven't done it in a couple of years, but I think somewhere along the line, I could sound like I could be Iron Man, you know, at any point. So it's gonna like click now.
You know what? You could be like a younger version of Iron Man, and if they ever do a rerun, you know?
I love that. Like, I realized I had to come to terms with the fact that my blonde hair and blue eyes meant that I probably never would play Tony Stark.
You know what? You can dye your hair. It's fine. There's makeup.
I can dye my hair.
Special effects.
Yeah. We can do all of them.
We make it work.
Here's a cool question for you. If you were to cast me in a movie for Marvel or whatever, who would you cast me in?
You know, at first I was kind of feeling Thor, but now that I know like your love for Robert Downey Jr., I feel like we could definitely make you like an Iron Man or something.
World peace. Privatizing world peace. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah. Let's make it happen, Gracie. Are you a fan of Marvel? Are you a fan of like Marvel? Like, my favorite is Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok and Infinity War.
That was a good one.
Ooh.
I feel like it's very humorous compared to all the other Marvel movies.
Yeah, very much
it's
so.
Like kind of different, which I feel is why it did so well.
Exactly. And that's an important thing to do, right? I mean, like finding your own voice. Like Taika Waititi is just like taken off because of just like, that's what you got to do. You just got to be who you are, you know? And he did a great job. We filmed The Bachelor in South Africa, which is like really weird because like I'm already like an actor, but it came at a time where I had just finished like production on a very serious set. And I was just chilling, like waiting for the first real, like, you know, the first drafts to come out. And I was like getting like kind of itchy, like an antsy, you know? And then someone called me and they were like, do you want to be on The Bachelor in South Africa? And I was like, what? Like, you know what I mean?
I mean, sure.
Let me just talk to a few people, you know? So I spoke to a couple of people and they were like, you know, it's in South Africa, like it can't hurt. And to be honest with you, it's probably the biggest show that is available in South Africa. So I was like, man, I'm gonna do it. But if I don't like this girl, I'm dipping first episode. You know what I mean? Like I'm out of here. You know? Yeah, I kid you not. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, Gracie. You know, I'm not gonna pretend. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like I like someone. Yeah. So, but then she was great. She was really, really great. And there was a whole bunch of shenanigans and adventures that happened there. But yeah, long story short, I think, it's just important to take whatever comes up.
Yeah.
You know, to evaluate the situation.
Getting back to the kissing booth. It was a super dramatic movie, big roller coaster of emotions, especially for me watching it. What was that like, kind of filming it? What was your favorite scene to film?
I think, and I know that this is crazy. Like, actually, they didn't put this scene in the final cut of the movie, but there was that last scene where Ella's saying goodbye to everybody. That was pretty intense. And that was like, so I had like one line interaction with Joey.
Yeah.
In that scene, and I just remember looking at it. And normally, like, actors are like, "Hey, do you want to go run lines? Like, do you want to practice and rehearse the scene, get used to it, you know, whatever." And I just looked at Joey, and it's like one of the first things I ever said to her because we filmed that scene first. I was like, "Hey, do you want to run line? Like one line, like one line with her?" And she just laughed. She was giggling. She's like, "Okay, you're funny." And then yeah, we shot that scene, but I really liked that. I really liked it. But I just think the movie, there was so much going on, like you said. And Ashton was a character that came in at the end. So it was much more important to like tie up the things that have been like established in the first one and like give nods to those characters. So I think it was appropriate, you know. You can never have an ego about that kind of stuff, you know, like, oh man, they cut my one scene, you know, because at the end of the day, and she says this at the end of the movie, but it's like, it's about, well, you know, like a kissing booth, you know what I mean? Like that's the story, and so that's what's important. And I think they did a great job like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you had quite a few scenes with Joel and Joey, but what was the last scene that you filmed?
Ah, that's a good question. There was actually another scene that wasn't in the final cut of the movie that was hilarious. So it was that Independence Day like party where everyone's at the pool in the daytime.
Okay.
And I got in the pool, but it was winter in South Africa, so the pool was freezing. As I get in the pool, like my brain just like contracts, you know what I mean? And I'm like, and my line is, hey, I'm just gonna go grab some hamburgers. You want anything? And the line came out like, I just gonna go get hamburgers. You want anything? Like it just my English just completely just dissipated, let alone like my accent, you know. And it was so cold. Yeah, it was so cold. So I was like, okay, I'm happy that one was. Like maybe it sounded weird, you know. But the last scene that I filmed with them, it was at the beach house. So it was that like time. So I think it was actually, it was a smaller sequence, but it was when we were at the beach singing karaoke. And I'm sitting next to Tuffin. Yeah. I think that was the last song I filmed. Yeah. There were so many adventures that happened on the set there. Like I cut my chin. So this is a crazy story. So Joel, I started talking about like me and Joel's similarities.
Yeah.
Like he just like, when he heard this, he was like, this is ridiculous now. Like this is crazy. So he in the first movie was doing something and he cut his chin and he had to get 2 stitches under his chin here. In the third movie, at the water park, I cut my chin and had to get 2 stitches underneath my chin. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What are the odds?
Well, that's what I was like. I was like, come on, man. Like, get out of here, dude. Like,
it was just meant to be.
Like, it was just meant to be, yeah. And I think that was a beautiful thing about it because when you first read the character description for Ashton, he's a character who is described as being like a doppelganger for Joel. Yeah. So there was a part of me that was like, oh, damn, like, you and Joel don't necessarily like look the same, you know? But it just showed me that like people don't necessarily need to look the same to like be very, very similar and very, very compatible as people. And one of my favorite scenes watching the movie back is that scene where we're just chatting and catching up around the fire pit. Yeah. Because it was just natural and like organic. Like me and Joel were just chatting, you know, and just like getting to know each other. So it was really cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really cool. I love the scenes with you and Joel, especially the one where you guys did like a retro night and you were dressed up in like all that old stuff.
That was so good. I got up. Oh, I love that scene. That's where like Vince told Joey, he's like, this is where I was gonna get irritated at the fact that Ashton is like being like too good. You know what I mean? Like he got a whole bunch of holes in one, and he's just like, nah, I'm chill. It's like, oh, can you not just be like not humble? You know what I mean? Could you just not be like that guy?
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
I didn't do it.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it because it is. You got to be who you are. There's a really cool video, behind the scenes video that I have that I'm gonna post probably in like the next 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm really stoked to share because I'm in those clothes.
Really?
From that last scene. Yeah, you're gonna love it.
I just felt like you were the type of person that really enjoyed that outfit.
Really good. Like, not gonna lie, it probably had a bigger impact on my style than I needed it to.
I mean, it was a good outfit, so I wouldn't be mad if I saw more of that on your Instagram.
Thank you very much, Gracie. Thank you very much. I think I'll do it. I'll go out hunting. There was a photo shoot I did a while back that had some bell bottoms. So that looked that looked pretty cool. Yeah, give that a look out.
I think you can pull it off.
I'll maybe do 1 or 2. Yeah, we'll see. I'll say this one's for Gracie. That'll be my caption.
Thank you, and then I'll get some for you too. Like we'll both just switch back and forth.
Yes, that's dope. Bring back the 70s. Bring back the 70s, baby.
I mean, yeah, a big part of the movie was also the epic bucket list. If you
Oh
had
yeah.
to make your own bucket list, what are the top 3 things you would put on it?
Oh, that is a great question. Wow.
I'm really making you think about this.
Yeah, that is because I want to be like, okay. Maybe the first one would be either fly in a fighter jet or in an F1 race car. Like that's going to be on one. 2. This is a hard one. This is a really difficult one, but a really good one. I would like to maybe sail from one or walk, or travel across an entire continent. So like maybe do like Route 66, something like the equivalent to like Africa or Asia or Europe. That's definitely one out there. And then what else is really good on the bucket list? I don't know. Can you give me the third one? Give me the third one. That's something that you would think would be really cool.
I don't know. I feel like you would be a skydiving type of person.
I was just thinking skydiving.
No.
I was just thinking about skydiving. I wanted to do it for a long time. So yeah, probably skydiving. Maybe like somewhere over like I don't know if you can do that, but like the Grand Canyon or somewhere like a natural wonder of the world. That would be really cool. Or like a mountain, like maybe like Mount Fiji in Japan. That would be super dope, you know. Oh, I suppose that could also be like one. Yeah. Skydiving in Mount Fiji. I think that's on the list right here, Gracie. Yeah.
Perfect.
Done deal.
Glad I could help. I mean, talking more about you, do you have any future projects coming up?
I do. So there's actually quite a few. One of them is also like a beach movie. That's only going to be like put into development like later next year. So that's still a while out. And then there was our company's first like theatrical project called The Ring of Beasts, which is wildly different from The Kissing Booth. So I mean, but it links kind of to like my own take on like superheroes and stuff. So it's got its own like social cause. It's about dog fighting, but the dogs are human beings. So that's one to check out. And then the third project that I'm doing is like a mockumentary on kombucha, of all things. So
okay.
We'll see how that goes. Like, yeah, I'll definitely keep you in the loop with that one.
Yeah, I'll be on the lookout for all of them.
I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Is there something that you would want to say to any of the Kissing Booth fans that are watching this?
Yeah, for sure. I've thought about this one in the past, and that is, I just really hope that all of them never ever give up the passion they've exhibited for the movie and the selflessness they've exhibited for the movie for just life in general. You know, like I hope they. And one of the things that I've always really loved about the franchise is like Alan Lee like live a friendship like always to the max. You know what I mean? And sometimes that comes with drama and comes with these like seesaw emotions. But I think that that's a great way to do things. You know, to like go out there and have fun, like do your epic bucket list, like that flash mob. Oh my word! Like I definitely want to do that one day. You know what I mean? A Mario Kart race on like an actual track? Are you kidding me? Like I would absolutely love to do something like that one day. Maybe like that's a bucket list item. Maybe do like a role play, like Call of Duty Zombies or like Warzone or whatever. You know, obviously not the real thing, but like do something similar. Yeah. So my advice to them is that I hope, even though it's really sad that this trilogy has come to an end, I just really hope that people continue. You know, they continue being passionate and they find the next thing, and maybe they even find that not on the screen, that they find it in their real life with a best friend or like a lover or a partner. I just hope that's my hope for them. That's what I want them to say. That it's the end of the kissing booth, but as they say in the title of the poster, it's the start of everything else. So I hope they find that starts and it goes off to a great run.
I mean, going back to the Mario Kart, if you ever come to Canada or I go out there, we can definitely do that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, 100%.
Are you serious? Okay. All right. Okay.
We'll have to plan that because I'm down for that. Yeah.
We're gonna plan it. I want to be Bowser there. I want to be Bowser. Like that's.
I don't know who I'm gonna be. I have to think about it. But like, you can definitely be Bowser.
Okay. Awesome. Sounds good.
Well, that's all the questions I have for you. But thank you so much for doing this interview.
Absolutely my pleasure, Gracie. So great to find you.
Talking to you. I have a few fan questions for you
Ooh,
that I just want to
okay.
throw at you.
Let's go.
All right. Number one is, who inspires you the most in your life, and who inspired you to start acting?
Who inspires me most in my life? My mom. I think she's one of the most hardworking, like a person with integrity. She has an immense capacity to love people beyond even when other people might say they're not deserving of love. And she's always been in the corner of pursuing and maximizing your dreams, just being the best person that you can be. She's a principal of a school in South Africa. So she definitely is one of my biggest inspirations. Who inspired me to start acting? Well, this is like, I suppose you could say if this is a person that I like don't know yet. I have like three. So one of them is my parents, again, because this is gonna sound weird, but they inspired me to start acting because I used to be terrified of getting up in front of people when I was a little kid. Like people scared me, dogs scared me, water scared me. So my parents were like, you have to like face your fears, buddy. So they like threw me in a pool, got me a dog. They were like, you're gonna get up on stage and you're gonna overcome these fears. And then I learned that you can make people feel things. You can make people like laugh, cry, think, imagine, escape when you perform. And that I thought was really special. So it kind of like, I don't know, from a faith perspective, that kind of inspired me to make that the purpose of my life, is to make people, entertain people, inspire people, inform and educate. And then the next person would probably be Will Smith. Like, I'm a huge Will Smith fan. To this day, he's my favorite actor. So, which kind of links into the video I was talking about. You're gonna like I keep on talking about. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. Really happy with that little ode to him. And then the last person would probably be Walt Disney. We know Disney now is this huge thing that's producing Star Wars and Marvel and these epic movies and Pixar and like just like a happiness factory, right? But like that man went through so much in his life to bring that baby to the fore, and that's really inspiring to me. That you just have this attitude of you keep moving forward. So those are the three areas that I'd say are my main inspiration.
Yeah, I mean, those are all good answers. So
thank you.
What was the most memorable moment for you while filming?
Oh, this is a good one. Taylor and Joey were doing the Marco Alba Bison.
Oh.
And if you look behind them, you will see someone throwing darts. And that person was me and Lee. Joel. And it was my first day on set. This was literally the first shot that I was like even close to. And they'd called quiet on set. It's a dramatic scene, lots of emotions flying on here. And they called action, and I threw a dart, and it hit the board, and the whole board just came down and made a huge crash. And like, I was just like, I was like, oh, crazy, like what happened here? So that was a very memorable moment that happened on set for sure.
What is your biggest fear?
Oof. She gave this a lot of thought the other day. Damn, what is it?
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Like when you're driving.
My biggest fear.
Yeah, yeah, questions to ask myself. A little pep talk. I think I have a perpetual sense of FOMO, and I don't mean that in terms of like the fact of like I want to be involved in everything. I mean that in terms of the fact that I really want to be present wherever I am in my life. So like in this conversation with you, like in my plans that I have for today, like, and I think sometimes for time management, that doesn't work very well because, you know what I mean? You could be like, I have an event starting at 1, but like, if I'm at something before, which is like out of this world, then I'm not going to prioritize getting there at 1 o'clock. I'll get there at like 1:15 or 1:05, So I think that would probably be my biggest fear. Yeah, if that makes sense,
Who is your favorite South African photographer?
Wow, that is a good one. Dude, oh my word! I probably know who submitted.
I think a few of your friends were on my page because I got interesting stuff.
Damn it! He's gonna make me say it. Asanele. So like, the reason I say Asanele is because he was one of the first people who properly did like shots with me. But it all depends on like what kind of photography you're talking about. Like Leah's lens is amazing as well. Like we've done some like really high concept photo shoots. Like we did like a whole Harry Styles inspired photo shoot, which was awesome. Like really, really cool. And there's a crazy story behind that as well. I cut my foot from like
what is up with you and like cutting yourself?
I mean, the crazy thing is just like, I don't know, man. Like, when you put it like that, it sounds crazy. But like I was doing like she was like kick out of me, like you know, like do like a kick. So like I did a kick, but I did it like really passionately, 100%, and I kicked straight into a fence and like impaled my foot on the fence, like pendejo. So you know what I mean? And then we went to the emergency room. I got like 6 stitches in my heel, and they were like, "Do not get this foot wet for the next like 12 hours." And I was like. And I jumped in the pool like 20 minutes later.
As you should.
As you should, yeah, as you should. So us and Ellie, because of the concept photos that we do, I think Leah's lens is amazing in terms of like the conceptual photography. As well, she's just won an award and feature in a magazine for some of this stuff. And then if you're doing headshots, good old Justin Munitz in Cape Town. Like Headshots Cape Town is also a great photographer. So those would be my top 3 in that order.
My last question for you: what is your favorite quality about Ashton?
Ooh, also a good one. I made a playlist called Ashton's Groove. And I like put all these songs that I feel like the Berkeley boy would listen to. And my favorite quality about him is that I believe him to be selfless in a way that he's accepting of everybody. Like he won't hold something against someone. He's not gonna like. He had qualities. I know this sounds crazy. Like I think Jack Nicholson said this. Like the more you play different characters, the more you find things about them that you didn't know about yourself. But he had qualities that at the time I don't think I had. Like, or at least I wasn't acting on. And I think that was my favorite part about him is that he's just a genuinely good human being, but also like strong. So I enjoyed that part about him. That's probably my favorite, you know. That and the fact that he knows how to drive a Mario Kart really well.
Yeah.
IRL, like he really does.